All right, Mike Davis making a shakedown on Black Betty or Black Beauty, depending on which you prefer. You going to dry hop or just give it a shot? All right, you're good to go. We're trying some new stuff to try to get the nanny controls to quit going off on this motorcycle. We are sticky. He's got the TC light on. Perfect. .906 157.82. All right, Mike Davis is going to try it again. That was a very promising first pass. He had to really ride the bike, modulating wheel height with the throttle and clutch. He's going to leave a little bit softer now. We're having to turn off the bike so that the nanny controls don't kick in, even though they're turned off. How the if he can leave smoother on the bike, I think he'll go into the 8s on this pass, and then we're going to make some changes to make the bike a little bit easier to ride. Yep, only the TC is on. We turned off the traction control. Left softer. We're going to have to go check the data logger on that one because I heard it drag the motor down, and hopefully it's not that damn hill assist. All right, Mike Davis is going to give it another shot. We just changed the gearing because the bike would try to wheelie over backwards on the 1-2 shift. You want to dry hop it, or you're just going to go straight out?
I'm gonna try it, I guess. I can dry hop it.
All you, man. It's all good. It don't matter. We made a pretty substantial change to the gearing, so let Mike do a dry hop, see how the bike feels. We're not slowing anybody down. Okay, I just want to make sure none of the codes went on. You're good. Thank you. All right. Give this one a shot. He's going to have to leave harder than that. I can't really read that. 902 158. You could really hear the bike drag down on the launch also. All right, this is pass number 4. Mike Davis on Black Beauty. Black Betty. We'll get it right. He actually bogged on the last pass, so he's gonna try and just leave out a little bit harder. He went a 902 last pass, Let's see if he can get in the eights. All right, this is pass number 5, I believe, Mike Davis. We just serviced the clutch, had a warp. We had a warped steel and replaced one fiber. And we also just added Mike some additional horsepower in first gear to try to let the bike pull that taller gearing a bit better than it did the last pass. Pulled out of it and then wheelied 904-157. All right, pass number 6 for Mike Davis. He's just going to ride the bike a little differently. Had a 152 60 foot the last run, but then the bike launched off into a wheelie and he had to back out. So try one more time.
I walked up before. I got the tire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just flipped the IMU upside down, so hopefully it doesn't know the bike's wheeling, and we flipped it backwards, so hopefully it thinks that when he's accelerating hard, he's actually braking and it won't interfere with the throttle. Sounded pretty good. All right, we are trying some crazy stuff now. We're trying to trick the bike into thinking that it's upside down and backwards. Look great. Let's see what happens. Pass number 8. We didn't make any changes. Mike's just going to try and ride the bike a little differently. off count on passes. I think this one is number 10 for the day. We have currently, he just made his best 8th mile of the day on the last pass. So now we are tricking the bike even more. Now we're tricking the bike into thinking that it's going backwards and laying on its side to see if the ECU will stop interfering with the throttle when we launch the motorcycle. Practice pass with the best setup. Teasley. It takes 15 seconds. Nope, not yet. Hold on. Sorry about that. Nope, we're good. Oh, shit. Right down with his eyes closed. Jeremy Teasley making his first run on Black Betty against Mike Davis in the far lane. Carrying the front wheel. Let's see. 892 to Mike's 894. Wow, this may be a hell of an event. Jeremy Teasley, second pass on Black Betty. Jeremy went 892 on his first pass. Let's see what he can do on this one. Wow! Great launch. 886, 160. Looks like Jeremy Teasley may be on the Hayabusa for this weekend. Jeremy Teasley, this will be pass number 4 on Black Betty. Jeremy's just getting used to riding a bike. He said, don't touch anything, it's perfect. Let's see what he can do. Davis is 895 on the ZX14. Going to be a close weekend. 867, currently the #1 qualifier. All right, we got Jeremy Teasley on Black Beauty. This is qualifier number 2. We are currently qualified number 2 with an 8.825. We need to go 8.821 to take over the #1 qualifying spot. Last qualifying attempt, we tried to go 70s last time and had a big wheelie problem.
As our next pair,
I'm in the tower, so
Patrick Cooper and Jeremy Teasley on that Suzuki that you were talking about. Patrick Cooper had a hand in this thing, and Teasley already got the championship locked up and said, you know what, he's never been one to back down from a challenge.
well,
He says, all right.
Hayabusa's never won the class. He'd love to be the first guy to do that, and it just solidifies his reputation as one of the greatest ever in our sports.
Absolutely. Jeremy Teasley, his dad clinched the championship last night in the 365 Transport Monster Bulls. Let's see what Teasley can do against Patrick Cooper, one of the all-time greats.
Left lane, 7197, right lane.
And look at that, Cooper got him on the tree. That doesn't happen often, but there goes Jeremy Teasley. 875 at 162 miles an hour. That's not the record, is it?
No, 66, I
Oh,
believe.
right. By Fondon's got the record, 66. Yeah, right.
Wow, Jeremy killed it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, we've seen some stellar numbers.
Jeremy Teasley, unfortunately, has to race Mike Davis. They're both on the Brock's Performance team. Both of them doing great this weekend, but that's just how stuff works sometimes. So Jeremy's been as fast as an 8.75. Knowing Jeremy, he'll want to try to beat that. I don't know if he can do it. It's a little bit warmer in the day now, but we will see. Tim Cottrell takes out Jimmy Leach, so Mike Davis should be able to keep his number 2 in points. So we have number 1 and 2 in super stock in the points count going against each other. Just took out Mike Davis. We're down to the final 3, which means we get a buy-in to the final. Jeremy's going to try his best to run his lowest ET of the event because there's nobody next to us. We mess up, no big deal. Had to fight a wheelie there. 77, 162.37. All right. Patrick Cooper has made it to the finals before on a Hayabusa. So if Jeremy can pull off a win, it will be the first Hayabusa ever to win the class. Definitely the first Gen 3. Brock's Performance, here with Jeremy Teasley. So I put a poll up on Instagram. I said, does anybody think that the Gen 3 Hayabusa is going to win a race in XDA this year? Well, there was a lot of Kawasaki fans that said, oh hell no, and Suzuki fans that said, hell yeah, let's go. The problem is that we just didn't have a competitive bike. I've been working really, really hard on this thing. My buddy Mark Shively has really put a ton of time into it, and we finally got it to where when we let Jeremy ride it, I mean, you just did an amazing job right off the bat. Even though there are some crazy things going on I'll tell you about later that are broken on the bike, he can outride them and actually managed to go, I think your best was 875. An 875 on a Gen 3 Hayabusa, and what, 162.9, I do remember that. Wow, this thing's flying. We won the event. Jeremy's undefeated this year. All on Kawasaki's up until this point where we challenged him.
Yeah, I like a good challenge.
Yeah, you're like, all right, you want a challenge? Well, we've got a bike that most people didn't even think could be competitive in the class. And granted, the XDA did help us with some rule changes that helped. We were able to backdate the camshafts. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be here. But we qualified right behind Darian Payne. What, 8.822?
He went to 2, I went to 5.
8.822, number one qualifier, 8.825, Jeremy. That's all we wanted. Just let us run with him and let the rider do the job. And Jeremy did the job of riding that he does. And here we are. We Winter Circle Photos, we're actually getting ready to tear down now.
Bad part of it.
Yeah, that's the bad part. This class is not too awfully bad. Back in the day, we brought our stuff back in cardboard boxes. They confiscated stuff. You didn't get it back for weeks or months. It was crap. But anyway, so Jeremy, just real quick, what do you like about the bike versus don't like? What's your take on it after spending the last couple days?
For the clutch, I really think for once I can say Hayabusa clutch is better than a 14 clutch.
Yeah.
Well, 148 60 footed, and I have not done that on a 14 all year.
Really?
No, I've been 150 on 14. No 1 on a ZX14. Now, when I get a blower, I can, but this thing, fits the rules. So fits the rules. I've never 140 nothing ZX14.
Wow.
So the clutch is smooth, and it's super consistent, other than the throttle by wire thing. So.
Yeah, we have a throttle by wire issue that I'll explain in detail. That he just he just said, no, I'm not going to let you mess up my weekend, and killed it. For those of you who are wondering, we already have a Gen 2 conversion kit, but we have been testing some modifications to that, and we have, when it comes out of Jeremy's mouth, how much he likes the clutch, I think you guys are going to like it, because it's a true hand clutch, whether it's a stock motor bike or a big motor bike. So anyway, that was good. As far as the rest of the bike, it's perfect. Perfect?
There's nothing I can really complain besides for throttle by wire. Other than that, and I'm this off the Kawasaki people, but I like it better than the Kawasaki right now.
Wow. Now this bike, if you've watched our YouTube channel before, you'll know. Well, wait, let's just digress a little bit. Brock, what the hell's up with this? What's this? I said, you know what? I'm not going to dye my beard until I get this bike right. This is the result. So this bike has been kicking my butt all year. We're finally getting a handle on it. I am personally not a big fan of this bike. In fact, at one point, I wanted to kick it over and catch it on fire because it was really working my last nerve. But after watching what Jeremy can do, knowing that the bike is still not right, and when you see how not right it is, you guys are going to really flip out. Because this is big, and it's something we're going to have to contend with going into the future, because a lot of the safety aspects of this bike, even though you turn them off, they don't turn off. When you're drag racing, the most important thing is for the rider to be able to control the bike, control the clutch, control the gas, and he is, but there's a little secret nanny in there that's also controlling it and throws him curveballs. The bike will be plus or minus 50 horsepower during his launch, and he can actually control that. And unbelievable.
It's still really consistent. Bunch of 81, 77, 75.
Now we're consistently fast. We were consistently slow before he got on the bike. Anyway, just want to give you a quick update. We'll have everything going later. So you know, I've been having some health problems. What the hell's up with this? So I haven't been able to do videos. I got to stay away from my computer, but that stuff's going to be going away soon. I'm getting much better, and we will bring you more YouTube content as soon as we can. Anyway, I'm Brock from Brock's Performance. Undefeated Jeremy Teasley in the super stock class, sir. We'll see you next time. All right, everybody. This is what happens when you win a race. They got to make sure you aren't cheating. I'm not going to bother Will King, XDA's super awesome tech guy. But I know what he's doing here. I'm sure he's going to try to measure the head gasket thickness to make sure we don't have a short head gasket. You can see that we have a base gasket. I don't know if you can measure that. And then I'm not sure what else you're going to do, Will, but I'm just going to be nosy here. The other thing, Will ask us to pull the clutch out because one of the rules in the class is you're not allowed to have ceramic bearings in the engine. You can have them in the wheels, but not in the engine. So we pulled our clutch hub out, and you can see a beautiful stock Suzuki bearing there. You guys know that we're under the microscope, right? If we get kicked out for cheating, oh my God, can't have that crap. So
You want to get in there and take a picture of that?
yeah, hold on one second.
I gotta keep it pinched here though.
Oh,
I keep growing it
yeah,
now.
I can't.
Oh, it's so hard. Get in here. But it can be done.
Take the biggest thing's your finger in the way. All right, so we have passed the balancer test. We do have a balancer. We do have a stock input bearing, not a ceramic. We do have a proper thickness head gasket, and now Will is we're going to loosen up the radiator so that we can see if we unscrupulously put any lead in there to cheat. Do they pay you enough to justify this? Okay, good.
Do they pay you enough to win to justify this? That is good.
We don't care about that.
I got you.
Will, we just love motorcycles.
Yeah. This is all a labor of love.
Motorcycles and motorcycle accessories.
Rock and I have been both been doing this for 30 years. I think we started together in Pro Star.
Oh
we?
yeah, AMA Pro Star
Back
days.
in the 1990s.
And we'll put this back together, man. You don't got to mess
Sure.
with that. Yeah.
That one is
you got
not
stuff.
tight.
No, you got stuff to do.
Gotcha. Rock, congratulations, sir. Clean and green. Go get paid.
Thank you, Will.